members of the media, we can get the press conference underway. Coach, thank you for making time, and Musa.
Thanks, Shippy, for having us.
Yeah, I'll throw to you members of the media for the coaches just spoken about the preparations for the upcoming match against Pirates, and also just going to Soweto or facing the teams from Soweto. Thank you, Coach.
Thanks, Shippy. Thanks very much for the warm introduction. Good afternoon to members of the media. Yeah, this is the one press conference that I probably would love to skip, but for sure I think for the football fans, for the football club, especially Mamelodi Sundowns, and also because we are in that space where ours is to generate conversations and lead in relation to what football is about in this country. I think it's important. So yeah, exciting week, exciting preparations, and we're looking forward to playing against a very good Orlando Pirates side.
Can we get by show of hands questions from the floor? TT, and who's next? All after TT. And anyone else? Now you can set up while you're getting the hands. You are trying to buy time.
What's your birthday?
No. The brother, I think. It's the brother. Yeah. TT, then.
I remember there's a birthday.
So if you can allow me to take it a little bit back.
Sure.
So it will be yourself, Mazola, then check.
Yes.
I'll just find time for another to set up. But you can rush.
Coach, congratulations on your win away.
Sure, thanks to you.
Champions League. I mean, you went and gave them a 4-0 away. If you can just take us back into that, looking into the match that you played, Champions League, scoring so many goals, and the pressure that comes with playing two matches back-to-back with Soweto teams, one being the league and one being the MTN8. How do you then put focus on each one of these, looking at the cramped space that you have?
Yeah, on the Champions League match, I was really very, and I say this because, and I always say to you guys, before I share my feelings with the media and the public, I always share my feelings with my players. They need to know my feelings first before anyone else. And I can say to you that I was very, very impressed with the performance. I thought the application was very, very good. Some of the football that was played made me very, very emotional, in fact. And I shared a story with the players, but I'm not going to share that with you. But the performance under the circumstances on an artificial pitch, in that type of heat, against a very robust and very physical team with some very good players, like knowing that you have to deal with a striker like Valentin, for an example, or Eldinho in the midfield, who's creative and aggressive with the dribbles and the shots outside the box. It was a very difficult game and a difficult match to play as well as we played, but fortunately we had very good support from the Tanzanian people, and that gave us some very good confidence and motivation. But my only disappointment is that we didn't score more. The players know that I feel that we should have scored more, and I only say that because we created so many. I mean, there's a chance I was speaking about even today, if you remember, where they were inside the box, the players, and and they were just passing to each other. And I mean, 4 players could have taken the shot to score, and each one said, no, you shoot, no, you shoot, no, you shoot, and we overpassed, and eventually the chance was gone. So that was my only disappointment, but very proud of this group of players, very proud of their mentality, and it leads me to how do we prepare for these games. I don't have a lot of work to do, to tell you the truth, except to make sure that psychologically they understand the meaning of what it means to play the next fixture. And then rely on their experience, because I am fortunate enough that I've got some very, very good human beings who happen to be very good football players, and who happen to be very experienced in understanding how to tackle a difficult program. And the most important thing is to play well every single match, but take it one game at a time. But that also means prepare well and train well, and make sure that you give your best every single day at training. At Sundowns, unfortunately, you can't afford a day off, So this is the mentality that the group possesses, and this is the mentality that the group demonstrates. And to be honest with you, that has very little to do with me.
The congestion?
Yeah, no, it's one game at a time. They are tough games, but our mentality is the next one is the most important one. Sure, Mazala.
Just your opinion on the opposition on Wednesday. How much do you think they, outside the way they play, or they improved since you last played them? I think there was a lot of fixtures between the 2 teams last season. Do you also feel maybe you have an edge of some sort, given there were thin margins in some matches, and perhaps a dominant performance from Sundowns and others?
Yeah, it's a good question, Mazola. I think first is there's been big coaching improvement, and you can see it with the team. There's clarity in some of the organizational forms. That is supported by when you look at the numbers and the form in relation to how they've started. They've played 9 matches. They've won 6 with 2 losses and 1 draw. They've scored 18 goals, with Zakele Lepasa scoring 10 of those, and then of course moving into that space of being the first Pirates player to score 10 goals as quickly as he has, and they've conceded 6. But that's not just the data that's the most important, because that's the data that profiles their form. What profiles their playing system is that they've averaged 60% ball possession, which means as compared to last season, they keep more of the ball this season. They do play faster, where they average about 20 seconds per possession spell. Ours is a little bit more, because we play a little bit in moments, and we have a different way of playing. They do create a lot of situations from crosses, like averaging 9 crosses per match. They create about 13 chances per match, and they've got an XG of 1.7 per match. And so already you can profile and see where the team is from an offensive perspective. So for sure, there's been big improvements, and we know that we will be playing against a very, very good team, where a lot of detail, small details will make the difference.
Coach, Rhulani from times. You've obviously
Sure,
had,
Lawrence.
I think, six wins in the league. It's quite dominant already, but a win at Orlando Stadium, probably, if not the hardest game of the season, will it stamp a psychological mark on the rest of the league to say it's game over?
No. For two reasons. One, this is football, and football in its nature is an extremely unpredictable sport. And two, it's too early in the season. There's so many games to be played and against so many other teams, and they are going to be even more difficult. So we go to Orlando with the mentality of knowing for sure that it's a difficult game, but we know we've played even more difficult games. Like we've gone to Morocco and we've played difficult matches. We've gone to Algeria and played Belouizdad and we've had difficult games. We've gone to Cairo and we've played difficult games. We've gone to the same Orlando and we've played difficult games. And so we trust ourselves to be able to put on a good performance, and that's the starting point. That is our focus. Is we know we have to play well to give ourselves a chance to beat Orlando Pirates. But it's one of the 30 games that we are going to have to play this season, and it on its own has no specialness to it, except to say it's one of the 30 games that we are going to have to play.
Good afternoon, Coach.
Good afternoon, Karbo.
I want to take you backwards so that we can go forwards.
Sure.
Last season, when you knocked out in the Champions League, when a game that we thought you should have won, you show so much love, more than anything, to your players.
Yeah.
It seems like you use one of the top aspects of top coaches in world football, where you love players more when they lose. Why is that? What does it do for the players, and what does it do in regards to your relationship going to the game up against Pirates because of the attachment that you also have with Pirates, if I may say?
Well, I think I just try to accept and understand that first, before anything else, the football players are human beings before being athletes. I think that's always my starting point. We are different as coaches. There are coaches that love winning more than anything else. There are coaches that love press conferences more than anything else. There are coaches that love scouting and recruiting players more than anything else. My passion for coaching is derived from working with players and seeing players improve. And part to that is also establishing a very authentic and genuine emotional attachment, where I try to be available for the players even beyond the football field. But at the same time, it's not so easy, because I deal with different human beings and I deal with top football players who also all want to play and know that they are good enough to be playing. And but for sure, in our relationships, they also trust and respect me and my position as the coach, but they also understand that it goes beyond just player coach. We've also got a brotherhood and a family bond, because for me it goes beyond coaching. It goes beyond football. We are only football coaches or football players for 2 hours, 3 hours per day. For the rest of the 24 hours, we are reintegrated into society. And then the biggest question is, what type of people are we in society? What type of influence do we have within society? And I try by all means to be the type of person that they would love to have as their coach, but also to love to have as their friend, even in many, many, many more years to come. And that's my way of working. what is also very evident is that true and genuine friends are also not afraid to tell each other the truth. And they are also not afraid to tell each other things that they may not want to hear. And this is the basis of my relationship with the players. They know how honest we have to be with each other. But also the one big benefit is how much I learn from them. I learn so much from the Sundowns players. They are human qualities. I must tell you, I every single day I look forward to coming to work because I look forward to seeing a Musa, for an example. And I mean I had a small chat that is very private between Musa and I after the game in Tanzania now, after an incredible performance, and it had nothing to do with football. But it's a chat that came because of an experience that happened maybe last season or a season before that, two seasons ago, that was very emotional for both of us. But these are the things, you know, we try to establish these relations and we try to be honest with each other. But the biggest part is that I learned so much. I learned because even from that discussion I had with Musa on Friday, my biggest takeout was how important perseverance and bravery and character and not giving up, which is something that Musa demonstrated. These were the things that I learned and I took into my own space, into my own life, so that my life gets better. So they make me a better coach, but more than that, they make me a better human being.
Can we take the last 3 questions for the coach? There was a hand from Hans.
Coach, first question. You have the biggest symbol of a galaxy of stars. I just want to find out from a psychological point, how do you maintain the tonality of the speech that you have, which is with different characters?
I just happen to coach good human beings. I think that's the only way I can put it. I just think they are good human beings and they're a pleasure to work with. I am very demanding. I am very relentless. I put a lot of pressure. I am very obsessive. But they deal with me. And they deal with me because they are good people, and I can only answer your question by giving that statement of saying I'm just privileged to be in a position where I work with very good human beings.
Coach, have you been pleasantly surprised by Lucas Rubino, the way he has acclimatized to our football, and also, you know, just fill us in as to what makes this guy tick?
Am I pleasantly surprised? No, because there was a lot of work done behind the scenes from the scouting department, the data department, Ryan Hunt, Flemingberg with the sporting director. There was a lot of work done there. There was a lot of work done in the office by Yogesh Singh, who had to travel even to Brazil, and so the club made a very extensive efforts to do that. I spent a lot of time watching Lucas, and I watched Lucas play in a different position to what he is playing now. But I was very clear from day one when he arrived, even to the players, they will tell you, of some of the qualities that I had identified from Lucas that I felt that the team needed. And then there were also some areas that he has had to improve and work on to be able to fit within the model. What I can say to you is that he has worked very, very hard to gain the trust of his teammates, because I get the feeling when he plays and at training and in around the premises and in the facility that his teammates trust him. And that thing is very, very important for a player arriving within the group. And it's because of the work and his humility and his personality as a good human being, because also above the fact that we try to recruit some of the best players, one of the other things is we try to recruit the best players who happen to have the human qualities that we think are needed to work with us and to be in this organization. Lucas has qualities that you can't coach as a coach, you can't improve. They are there, and they are there because they are God-given. He is Brazilian, and a lot of people don't understand when I say to people that there's a difference between skill and flair, and a lot of South American players have flair, and you see it sometimes with Lucas. You see flair, and it's things that you see with Neymar, for an example. You've seen with Robinho, for an example. And it's not skill, but it's flair. There's an element of elegance, and he possesses that. But I also still think there's a lot of room for improvement, like with all the players at Sundowns. All the players at Sundowns know that we sit for corrections. We sit every day. I watch training. We sit here. We have corrections of training sessions. We have corrections of matches. We even correct small things like body language. It's crazy, but that's the space we operate in. We are in that space, and I think there's still more for Lucas. Just like I think there's still more from Lisiba. A lot of people, when we signed Lisiba, said Lisiba is not Sundowns material. But Lisiba has gone on to show that he has the qualities, and we've done extensive work also. Mendieta is improving and getting there, and he will also come into that space. Obas is a player that has incredible qualities, and I think even qualities that have not even been tapped into. Qualities like driving with the ball and you look in the modern game now in the midfield, the prototype of midfielders that Jude Bellingham. Last night I was watching Real Madrid, Jude Bellingham, and the role that he plays for Real Madrid. You watch Arsenal and you watch the role that Declan Rice plays for Arsenal. The versatility and the aggression on the ball of a player like Thomas Partey, for an example, a Kovacic, and his ability to run and drive in the midfield. And I think Obas has got these qualities, but it's qualities that he's not even aware that he's got. And so there's still quite so many things that we are trying to teach and to improve and to help. So you've got to be patient with these players. Maseko is the same. Maseko has qualities that you can never, ever take responsibility as a coach to say you helped him to have this. But for sure, there are things from Maseko's game that we would like to improve. And every single day we try to come with clips from Arsenal and from Man City and from Napoli. Brighton now is one of the things that we are so obsessed about in this team, and to try to show some of the players, because that's, as I said even to Karabo's question, my job and my happiness derives from seeing players improve. That's one thing that makes me very happy, is seeing a player come from here to here. And I'll make a small example, and maybe because Musa is here. On the day of the match, we were doing corrections with Musa, and there was a situation against, I'm not so sure, it was a friendly against Sikukune, where I felt Musa could have blocked a shot. And I made reference to how David Luiz, Ricardo Carvalho defend in those type of situations. And in the game in Tanzania, there was a similar situation, and then Musa blocked the shot the same way we had spoken about in the morning. And I celebrated that moment probably more than I celebrated some of the goals that we scored. Because for me, these are the things that make me happy. These are the things that give me real pleasure. And maybe it's because I was a youth coach, and my background is that of a youth coach, where I've coached a lot of players and I've seen them grow and develop and become better and better and better. And I think my happiness, of course I know that at Sundowns, in this space, we have to win trophies. But over and above that, when I see them improving, not only as football players, but also as human beings, that makes me very happy, Mahlatsi.
Last one for the coach.
I'm taking a sudden death penalty.
Yeah.
I choose my technique. It's just this week, coach. It's a very rare occasion in South African football where you'll see Mamelodi Sundowns come up against the traditional big two within the space of a week, aside from last season's Carling Cup, of course.
Yeah.
But how do you confront a week like this where you face these two traditional big clubs in the country, and beating both of them in the same week would obviously be a massive boost for you guys and sort of solidify your status as the elite club in South African football. Is that something you psychologically, and you did speak about psychological management of the players? I mean, they've got the ability to win games, but your job is more psychological. How do you confront this week in that context where you face Pirates, which that result could also add context to how you're going to Saturday's must-win cup clash against Chiefs?
Yeah, it's a good question, Chad. My answer to that is maybe two-pronged. One is to say, as I said earlier, we approach every single game one game at a time. So for us, we are not even. And I shouldn't say this because I'm not really being 100% honest, because I said to the players already that I've started watching Chiefs. I said to them this morning, and I confessed to them, because of how tight the schedule is. So because I feel some of the homework with Pirates, 7 games now is done. Now is to move a little bit to that, but I can't shift my focus from that. I've got to go 100% with the players into the next one. And so the next one is the most important one. It needs all our energies, all our focus, and everything that we have is galvanized towards Wednesday's game. And there are no thoughts about what will happen on Saturday. But what it is that it is a very good test for us. This week is a very good test for us, where we anticipate that as we get on with the season, we will get into a space where we have to play semi-finals, quarterfinals, finals, league title deciders in the same week, and matches that are of consequence in the business end of the season. And you've seen this with some of the biggest teams in Europe. You've seen how a Man City has had to play a championship decider while also having to prepare for a semi-final against Real Madrid, or preparing for the final against Inter Milan. This is the space that the big teams with the big players and the top players have a challenge with, and it is a challenge that they accept. And the harder it is, the better it is for us, because then it makes us improve and become a better team. So we're looking forward to it, and we know how difficult it's going to be, but I think we love it when it's that difficult.